Namaste and welcome to Devi Chamunda Mandir in Denver, Colorado. I'm Yamajit and I'm so glad you could join me this evening for part 3 of our Yoga Upanishad series. Tonight we're going to be featuring the Ksurika Upanishad, which means the Upanishad of the razor. The translator of the work that I'll be sharing refers to it as the Razor's Edge Upanishad. However, this is not the Upanishad that is mentioned in the Somerset Maugham novel of The Razor's Edge. That would be the Katha Upanishad, which is one of the original 108 Upanishads, and is actually a personal favorite of mine. I'd like to start with a couple of announcements. So this coming Friday at 7 o'clock, here at our temple, you may join us in person or on YouTube. We'll be doing part 13 of our Kali Nityas series. We'll be doing a fire puja to the goddess Kali Matra, and Matra means the goddess of matter or the material. Similar grammatical root to the word mata or mother as well. And then next Tuesday, we'll continue with our Yoga Upanishad series, and we'll be featuring the Yoga Tattva Upanishad, another short yogic work and a corresponding meditation. So the Ksurika Upanishad centers on a Pratyahara, that is a sense withdrawal meditation. We will do such a meditation as a guided meditation after I finish reading the actual scripture. But let's begin with our opening puja. So I invite you to find a comfortable place to sit. It can be on the floor, perhaps with a cushion, or a straight back chair will work as well. I invite you to close your eyes and breathe deeply. And we open our meditation of sense withdrawal by simply letting go of the concerns of the day, the things that have happened, things that might need to happen in the future. Just let those drop away with each out breath. Just give this time to yourself for the purpose of learning, for experiencing, and coming closer to the divine, both within and without. So slowly bring the palms of your hands together at heart center. And we'll open our practice and our satsang tonight by chanting Om 3 times. Inhale. Inhale and exhale, and slowly open your eyes. Om pavitra pavitrova sarvavastam gatopiva yashmade padarikaksham sabhyavyanta sushi. Om Gam Ganapataye Namo Namah. Jai Ganesha. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namah. Jai Guru. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Kaidase Patana Namah. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Jayanti Mangalakali Bhadrakali Kapalani Durga Shama Shivadatri Svasvada Namostute Jayatvam Devi Chamunde Jaya Bhutita Harani Jaya Sarvagate Devi Kalaratri Namostute Jema. Om Lam Vam Ram Yam Ham 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 Om Jema. So the Ksurika Upanishad, the Upanishad of the razor, and this really concerns yoga and meditation as the razor cutting away attachments and distractions. So this Upanishad was written, like many of the others, sometime between 100 BCE and 300 CE. And again, it really focuses on the limb of yoga known as Pratyahara, sense withdrawal. So I'm going to begin with the Translators Introduction. This Upanishad explains the esoteric doctrine of yoga concentration which cuts through ignorance like a razor's edge. It teaches that the yogi must detach himself not only from external objects, but also from internal objects as well as his own astral corporeality. This detachment of corporeality is not symbolical but actual. It is accomplished through esoteric meditation and the exclusion of the prana life energies from various parts of the body by successive stages of actual withdrawal. The process consists of concentrating on individual parts of the body and withdrawing the prana life force from them. The yogi finally concentrates his subconscious, his consciousness, in the heart of the single all-seeing eye, at the root of the nose between the eyebrows, the third eye, Agni chakra. The withdrawing of the mind stuff by means of breath control, pranayama, is one of the keys of success of this technique. The yogi withdraws the prana life force from all astral passageways, with the exception of the center passageway called Sushumna. He then travels upward through this passageway and out of his physical body, actively functioning through his astral body, which is not very corporeal. Later, he will function through his causal vehicle. The yogi temporarily leaves behind the physical body with all its states of everyday consciousness and karma banks, successively cutting off the prana life force from the various parts of the body by meditative concentration and by lifting the higher symbolic places. The yogi breaks the chain of karma that causes rebirth of the physical body. He is no longer compelled to be born again in this earthly plane. So this ends the translator's introduction. This brings us to the first verse of the Upanishad itself, the Ksurika Upanishad, the Upanishad of the razor. I proclaim the cutting concentration procedure for accomplishing yoga. The yogi who masters this technique no longer reincarnates into a physical body. As the sage Svayambhu says, first choose a quiet place and a proper meditation posture. Like a tortoise, draw in the prana life force from your limbs and lock up the instrument of your mind in the heart of the third eye by softening the sound of the mantra Om. Slowly using the 12 more mantra sounds. And that 12 more or syllable mantra would be Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Fill your whole body with prana life force. Shutting off all the sense doors, lift that prana by degrees from the base of the spine upwards through the mystical chakras into the third eye. Allow the prana life force to flow in through the nose after the breath has been held in the physical body. Again, release it slowly. Through the fixed morae, make steady the breath, first in the big toes, then the 2 ankles, then the 2 calves. Accomplish this by deepening the breathing pattern with each breath. Inhale 3 times through the right nostril only, then inhale 3 times only through the left nose, lengthening the hold each time. Now hold the breath restrained in the knees, then the thighs, then in the anus, then in the sex organs. Repeat this 6 times. Finally establish the breath in the region of the navel. In the navel region, the colorless middle passageway called Sushumna exists with many other colored astral conduits surrounding it, pale, red, yellow, black, and also deep red and dark red. You should only permeate into the subtle and delicate white passageway called Sushumna. This will allow the vital breath to ascend upwards in the astral spinal column as the spider along its web. So what this involves is actually pulling our awareness through the 5 pranic sheaths and ending up in that subtle channel. Thus, the yogi comes to the great seat of the Holy Spirit, which is like a red lotus. It is a little lotus, Penetrating through this red lotus by way of the center passageway, the yogi ascends to the Mercury chakra. He then seizes the razor-sharp instrument of the mind, shining bright with knowledge. Sharpening that mind, the yogi completely cuts off all names and forms. Through this sharpened mind, he yields himself up eternally to the practice of yoga. Glorious, like the king of the gods' lightning bolts, the lower centers of consciousness are stilled. The yogi praises this mysterious stillness until, through the powers of concentration, meditation, and yoga, he irrevocably disengages himself from the lower centers of consciousness. Through the yoga of breath rotation, repeated 4 times without hesitation, the yogi cuts off the prana life force from the lower centers, then shifting his consciousness into the talus, that is the vibration in the thighs. He cuts off the negative energy from the pre-human centers of consciousness. The yogi then collects together at the Mercury or throat chakra the prana life force from the other astral passageways. Thus he comes to realize that of the thousands of passageways, there are 101 which are most important. These passages were referring to the nadis, which are essentially the same as the acupuncture meridians. On the left resides the moon passageway, Ida. On the right, the sun's passageway, Pingala. Now between the 2 passageways is the main passageway, called the center passageway, or the divine fire passageway, Shushumna. He who knows this fire passageway understands all scriptures. Deathless and dustless, this center passageway is related to the reality and is the pillow on which rests the other 72,000 astral passageways, 72,000 nadis or energy channels altogether. The yoga of concentration, dharana, splits everything with its lightning sharp razor of spiritual visibility, yogi siddhi, which shines like a fire. But the razor's edge cannot split the middle passageway. The wise soul, while here on earth, should split the 100 passageways, finding that middle passageway is scented. The yogi fills this astral passageway with good and bad states of consciousness. Thus prepared, the yogi moves on, liberated from the necessity of future rebirths on earth. When the yogi chooses a quiet place, attaining good self-conscious awareness, becoming free from worldly inclination and expectation, thus he soon attains true knowledge of yoga. Just as a bird cutting its leash soars fearlessly into the sky, so in the same manner, a soul cutting the physical cord ascends above the requirement of the rebirth cycle. Just as a flame, having burnt itself to extinction, becomes formless, so the yogi's desires are burnt to death and become formless, thus not becoming the cause of any future karma. Freedom comes to the yogi who practices breath control, for with his razor sharpened on the stone of reincarnation, sharpened with 12 morae of the Om mantra, he cuts the cord, binding consciousness only to the physical body. He who frees himself from all desires attains conscious immortality. He remains free who gives up all desires, while cutting the cord which holds his consciousness in the lower body. Om, this is the Vedic explanation. Om, this is the yoga explanation. Om, this is the Kriya explanation. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om, so shall it be. So I'd like to share with you a guided meditation based on this principle, the principle of Pratyahara, or sense withdrawal. So I invite you to find a comfortable seated position. It can be in a chair or on your mat, on the floor, perhaps on a cushion. This version of the Pratyahara meditation is based on one that was written by Nishala Joy Devi back in 2013. And I'm just going to share her particular introduction to this meditation. Our senses are wonderful tools, but they can pull our attention here, there, and everywhere. The yogic practices of Pratyahara, withdrawal of the senses, helps us to have control over them and use them well rather than being distracted by them. Here is a guided meditation to help experience the senses and draw out awareness inward. This is a profound relaxation practice for bringing in all the outward sensual consciousness. We begin with the physical body and then move to the breath, thoughts, and emotions. So, inspired by our Upanishad, I'd like to begin with mantra meditation. We're going to recite the 12-syllable mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, 27 times. So close your eyes, take a couple of breaths. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Om Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 So sit comfortably with a straight spine with your eyes closed. If you wish, at this point, you could also transition to a position where you're lying on your back. But find that comfortable position. Make any micro adjustments that you might need to at this time so that you can stay still for the next several minutes and just simply relax. And we'll begin by just simply taking a few deep breaths. And just begin to notice how still the body and breath become as they relax and as you breathe. Just take a moment and observe the breath without trying to control it. Just let it come and go without any strain. And now I invite you to take 3 deep breaths, focusing on the flow of air through your right nostril. Exhaling through your mouth. And then 3 deep breaths, focusing on the air flowing in through the left nostril and exhaling again through the mouth. Then let your breath return to normal. And let each natural breath just carry you into a deeper and deeper state of relaxation. So now, as you breathe, I invite you to guide this gentle breath to bring all sensual awareness from the toes into the feet. Now from the feet into the ankles, from the ankles into the lower legs, from the lower legs into the knees, from the knees into the thighs, from the thighs into the hips, and allow yourself to relax deeper and deeper. Now guide this awareness to withdraw consciousness and energy from the fingers into the hands. And from the hands into the wrists, the wrists into the forearms, the forearms into the elbows, the elbows into the upper arms, just letting go of holding awareness in the hands and the arms, the shoulders as well. And continue to relax. Now begin to do the same as you breathe with the buttocks and pelvis. Allow the abdomen to soften. Imagine the chest, lungs, and heart relaxing. And relax the throat as well. And gently allow the awareness from the base of the spine to slowly rise through the middle of the spine to the upper spine. Relax the shoulders and allow the neck to be open. And let a connection be open between the heart and the head. And continue to relax. Just experience the sensations as the body retreats further and further inward. The head holds most of the organs of the senses. Just gently relax the jaw and withdraw the taste and the speech from the mouth. The tongue relaxes. Withdraw the sense of smell from the nose. Allow the eyelids and the eyes to soften, moving slowly toward inner sight. Relax the forehead. and tune the ears to the inner sounds. Relax the entire scalp and bathe the brain with relaxation. And allow the gentle breath to relieve the mind and emotions of all movement. Relax. And slowly bring the awareness to the gentle breath as it enters and leaves the body. And as the breath enters, feel yourself drawing deeper within. And as it leaves, feel yourself letting go of all holdings. And notice a lightness and the feeling of distancing from the body, mind, and emotions, and all worldly cares. And begin to go further within, to look for that place of stillness, of silence, peace, and joy. This is the dwelling place of your divine self, the deity within. Now, slowly and gently, bring your awareness back to the breath. And begin to increase the inhalation and feel the senses that have been purified and strengthened. Begin to feel them awakened to a relaxed body and a calm mind. And as you continue to practice this meditation, your senses will become accustomed to drawing inwards. It'll become effortless to prepare the mind and emotions for deeper practices. So I invite you now to take a deep and clearing breath, becoming aware again of your surroundings, the sound of my voice and any other sounds in the room. Feel the feeling of yourself sitting or lying upon the surface that you've chosen. Slowly beginning to move your fingers and your toes, your hands and feet, your arms and your legs. Maybe giving a little stretch. And bringing the palms of your hands together at your heart center and listening to our benediction. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Giving gratitude to yourself for taking part in this practice tonight, knowing that you can replay this broadcast and do this meditation again at any time. Taking a moment to thank that divine presence within and without. Slowly opening your eyes. And namaste. And thank you so very much for joining me this evening. Blessings always. Have a wonderful night and a wonderful day ahead. Looking forward to you joining me on Friday, either in person or on YouTube for a fire puja to Ma Kali Matra. And joining me next Tuesday for our practice and satsang on the Yoga Tattva Upanishad. Namaste. Jai Mata Di. and good night.